different video today as a comprehensive why did I go vegan kind of video. Yeah, let's get right into it. I went vegan actually recently in January of this year. This is the longest time I've ever been vegan, so it's been 6 months now, and I feel pretty good. A lot of people ask me, like, how do I feel? I feel good. There has been some improvements to my health. For one thing, I am not, I guess, what's considered an ethical vegan. I'm very against animal cruelty. But at the same time, I say that I'm not an ethical vegan because I'm not vegan because I don't believe in eating chickens. Like, just being perfectly honest. If that's what floats your boat, then go for it. Now, a healthier way of going about that, I don't believe in like factory farming and what have you, caged chickens and caged cows and all of that. But if you eat meat, to each their own. That does not bother me. And personally, I still like the taste of meat. However, I am vegan for health reasons. So that's just to clear the air on that one. When I say that I eat for my health, then that's going into the story of health issues that I have endured over the years and am still experiencing. It could be a story that could help someone else. I have struggled with eczema throughout my life. I've had eczema since I was 6 months old. So as long as I can remember, of course. And when I say I've had eczema, it's not just a rash, because a lot of times people hear, oh, you have eczema, oh, you just have an itchy rash, whatever. Eczema is much more involved than that. So it's a little demeaning a lot of times when people refer to it as just a rash, or be like, oh yeah, my cousin had eczema, and they don't really know the ins and outs, because there is a range of severity when it comes to eczema as well. You can have somebody that, like I said, may have a small rash when they come in contact with certain allergens, and then they have people that just wanes and waxes through a bunch of breakouts, which is a lot of times what I go through. So me personally, I've had eczema all over my body over the years. It's changed spots to different places, different severity forms and everything. I know a lot of times people may compare it to psoriasis. Psoriasis is quite a bit different in its pathophysiology, and the rash is also quite different. So it's an inflammation, but it comes up with like a silvery, scaly type texture to the skin, and it also comes on the extensor surfaces of the body. So when I say extensor, like where your joints extend. So psoriasis would come on like the elbows, on the knees, places like that is the typical pattern, but it can come up in many different areas. I've seen psoriasis on the stomach, on the neck, all kinds of things. Eczema is like the opposite of that, to where you get patches on your flexor surfaces where the joints flex. So on the inside of the elbows, the back of the knees, places like that. I've had eczema on my wrists. I've had eczema on like my back, on like my neck. I still have it on my face. I've had eczema under my ears actually at one point. So I've had it all kinds of places. That, for one thing, shows that it's not just a rash. Like, it's very invasive. And then the itching, in all honesty, just makes you kind of lose it, because it's so pervasive. Like, it's constant, especially when you're having a breakout. So with eczema comes, and other people that are going through this can attest to this, with eczema comes the embarrassment, not only of the rashes and people not understanding, like, oh, what's that on your skin, or what's going on with the, her skin. the embarrassment with constantly itching all the time and feeling like you look like you have a tick or something like that, the pain and the anguish of not only itching all the time, day and night, so also disruption of sleep, but also the pain of feeling your skin literally being on fire. Most of the time, if you're having a really bad breakout and the skin is breaking, it's cracking, so anytime you sweat or anytime there's dust or clothes rub up against you, it can cause irritation. It can cause burning because now you're getting all kinds of stuff in the open wounds. Scratching until you bleed. The rash is also weeping, is what we call it, when it starts oozing, because you can also head into an infection. So yeah, there's just a lot of complications with eczema that people don't understand. Yeah, even the inconvenience and the torture of not even wanting to be in the sun, which I've had years of that, to where, you know, I love the outdoors. If you guys can't tell, I love to go hiking, I love to go foraging, I love all of that. But the pain of not being able to even like survive in your environment or even be outside because you're so allergic, and you know that most likely you being outside is going to cause a trigger, or having to be medicated to go outside because you're probably gonna break out. Like it's stuff like that. Or like I said, for years I didn't want to be in the sun. I hated being in the sun because, which is bad, especially for a melanated person, because we need vitamin D. But I hated being in the sun because it burned so badly. It burned so badly every time I was in the sun. The constant flaking of your skin, getting skin all over your clothes and sheets, and having to wash everything all the time. That's one thing that I go through and have gone through for years. And a big reason why I am vegan now, and I have eaten for my health for years now. I haven't really eaten dairy for probably like 6, 7, 8 years. When I say that I eat for health, and the reason why that I also don't advocate for people, for everybody to be vegan, because I know that there's people like that as well, that's just like, oh, well, everyone should be vegan. I don't subscribe to that way of thinking, because all of our bodies are different. Are there things, like I've said before, that are universally healthier options and are universally poisonous for you? I don't think anyone should eat McDonald's. So that I will say freely, no one should eat McDonald's. But as far as an actual diet, that depends, because I have seen way too many people not thrive and not do well on a vegan diet. And I know vegans will argue, well, it's because they didn't eat this and because they didn't do this right. I just believe that it's not necessarily for everybody. Again, we're all from different backgrounds, have all different genetics. So I don't believe everyone should be vegan. But for me and for everyone else, I will definitely advocate that you should be eating for your health. So when I say that, you know, I go based off of listening to my body. And whether it's to your body or in a relationship or what have you, communication is so very important. And what better way to learn how to communicate than to learn how to better communicate with yourself, and to learn how to better listen to yourself. Because I think a lot of people struggle with listening and with communication as a whole, right? But first and foremost, they struggle with listening to themselves. I mean, there's so many of us, the majority of the population are lactose intolerant. And dairy doesn't really agree with them, right? I mean, it wasn't a staple in most of our diets. And so we have to realize that when you're having the tummy upset after you eat something that's your body telling you that's poisoning me, I don't like that. Please stop eating that. But most of us don't listen. There's so many lactose intolerant people that I've met and known that are just like, yeah, but I want pizza, so, I'm gonna just take the risk and use the bathroom afterwards. And of course, it sounds funny in the moment, and it's like, oh, that's harmless, but it's not. You're not listening. You're not listening. So when I say eat for your health, your body will tell you what you should and should not be eating and consuming and being around. So I try to listen. I stopped eating dairy because that was obviously creating an issue for me. So I cut that out of my diet. With that, I've had digestive issues for years. A lot of us do. But I've also cut other things, along with dairy. I've been pescatarian. I think I went pescatarian for a couple of years, to where I just ate fish. Then I added chicken back into my diet. I haven't eaten like beef and pork in years. Because I would just slow down my digestion. It just was not working for me. With that, again, and I should be keeping a food journal, but I have not been consistent at doing that. Unfortunately, I've done it a couple of times, but it just hasn't been consistent for long enough. But it's just paying attention to, okay, this slows down my digestion. And I know if I'm not eliminating properly and fully, then that's going to cause an issue, because what goes in needs to come out. And if it's not, then what am I eating or doing or not doing that's causing that? So also this year I have increased my water intake to at least half a gallon of water a day. It's just little things like that. I remember, I think it was last year or the year before, I made sure I ate a piece of fruit every day and got more fruit in my diet. That's why I went vegan this year, because I was like, okay, maybe I should just cut all the meat, see what happens. There have been a lot of improvements from that, from eating more fruit, and from drinking more water. So I will be continuing to hone in my diet as much as I need to get my body as healthy as I need to. Eat for your health. That would be something that I would definitely advocate for. And really take stock of what's going on with your body. What issues are you having? These issues shouldn't be something that you're ignoring or, kicking the can down the road, and then you'll wake up one day wondering what's going on with you. It's best to just listen to your body now. It's just like when you're in a relationship with somebody and there's an elephant in the room and nobody wants to address it. It's best to go ahead and just nip it in the bud. Go ahead and address it, communicate, talk about it, so that it's not adding to problems, just increasing and increasing over time, to where eventually, it causes a breakup or a divorce or what have you. Which, if it leads to a divorce of your body, that's not a good outcome. Definitely listen to your body. Eat for your own health. Don't just follow a fad diet. It doesn't matter whether it's keto or Mediterranean or vegan or what have you. It matters what makes your body feel good and feel better and get healthier. So if you have to start with the Mediterranean or the keto, that's at least some place to start. But then continue to listen to your body and let it guide you into what you need to do next. And don't be afraid to adapt and to change, to figure out what that next thing is that you need to do. And yeah, it can get frustrating, but hold the course, because it's worth it in the long term. Even in the short term, because not having to go to the bathroom or feel bloated and heavy and having the itis after you eat is definitely really nice, and something I have experienced with changing my diet and being able to eat dinner and not feel exhausted is so nice, which is another indication, just to let you know, if you feel exhausted after you're eating, you might want to tweak something and change a little something, because that's your body also telling you, you either ate too much or I really didn't like what you just ate. So you need to kind of figure that out and tweak it. Let me know if you have any questions, whether it be about like vegan diets or like how to get started with your own diet. Even if you have questions of, what different, symptoms that your body is going through. I can't give you medical advice. I am not your doctor, your personal doctor, but that's something that you can go to your primary care doctor with, and hopefully you can work with your doctor, maybe get a dietitian. But there's a lot of resources out there, but I'm here to try to help you make it simpler so we can take baby steps to living well and leading by example. Leave me some comments, leave me some questions down below, and I will see you next time, loves.